On the night of September 27, the Russian armed forces launched another massive missile attack on the territory of Ukraine. And only now, 20 hours later, the first shocking details of this massive Russian missile attack have emerged. My friends, in this video, I will tell you in detail about this Russian missile attack, which has already shocked not only Ukrainian, but also NATO generals. However, before moving on to the main topic of today's video, I would like to start by telling you about the current situation around Vuhledar. So, a few hours ago, war correspondents confirmed information that Russian troops still managed to close the ring around Vuhledar, where the remnants of the Ukrainian army units are still located. According to them, this became possible thanks to the successful offensive actions of the Kamchatka Marines, in the area of the second hill of the Yuzhnodonbaskia First Coal Mine, and southwest of these territories. On September 27, at 3 p.m. Moscow time, influential Russian telegram channels also reported on the encirclement of the city of Vuhledar by Russian troops. According to them, Russian troops have closed a ring around the city north of Vuhledar. Against this backdrop, the Ukrainian army units that did not manage to escape from the city found themselves surrounded. In addition, the Ukrainian High Military Command also lost the opportunity to send additional reserves to Vuhledar to rescue the remnants of the surrounding Ukrainian army units. Thus, Vuhledar became the second completely surrounded city during the entire war. Let me remind you that the first city that was completely surrounded by Russian troops during a war was the city of Mariupol. Of course, many of you can say that it is incorrect to compare these cities with each other, since Vuhledar is significantly inferior in size to Mariupol. However, it is important to understand that despite its small size, Vuhledar was turned by the Ukrainian army and NATO forces into a real fortress, which in terms of its power and numerous fortified areas could be compared with Avdiivka, which even Western military experts recognized as the most powerful and effective fortress of the 21st century. Commenting on the situation around Vuhledar, the influential Ukrainian telegram channel Resident reported that against the background of Vladimir Zelensky's visit to the United States, the Kyiv authorities are doing everything to hide from the public the fact that the Ukrainian army units located in Vuhledar were completely surrounded and that the city could come under full control of the Russian troops in the coming days. Moreover, it is reported that the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, General Alexander Syrsky, ordered the Ukrainian army units located in Vuhledar to fight to the last, and not to surrender the city while Vladimir Zelensky is in the United States. However, despite this, Ukrainian soldiers continue to try to escape from Vuhledar. It is reported that they are trying to escape from the city under the cover of night, in small groups, using the remaining paths through the minefields. Unfortunately, there is still no exact data on how many Ukrainian soldiers managed to leave the city in this way, and exactly how many soldiers died in these minefields. It is reported that as of September 28, 2024, 60% of the territory of Vuhledar is already under the control of the Russian army. If the offensive pace of the Russian troops does not change, war correspondents can report on the liberation of Vuhledar in the first days of October. Meanwhile, on the night of September 27, Russia launched another massive missile attack on the territory of Ukraine. This time, the Kyiv, Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporizhia, and Odessa regions were subjected to missile attacks. It is reliably known that in the Kyiv and Sumy regions, Russian ballistic missiles destroyed 3 armories, where 155mm shells were stored, which were delivered from NATO countries the day before. In the Dnipropetrovsk region, in the city of Kryvyi Rog, the Russian military destroyed the building of the local police department. It is reported that as a result of this missile strike, 15 Ukrainian policemen were killed, and 30 more were seriously injured. It is reported that these policemen regularly took part in combat operations against Russian troops in the Donetsk direction of the front. In the Zaporizhia region, in the city of Zaporizhia, Russian-guided aerial bombs of the Fab family struck the industrial enterprise Motorsich, which worked for the needs of the Ukrainian army. In the Odessa region, independent monitoring services recorded at least 5 explosions in the port part of the city of Izmail. At the same time, it is reported that during these explosions, the Ukrainian air defense did not work. Moreover, it is reported that during these explosions, the sounds of flying Russian missiles were not even heard. Against this backdrop, the Ukrainian media reported that Russia allegedly used its latest stealth kamikaze drones with silent engines against targets in the Odessa region. However, this information was immediately refuted by Russian telegram channels and many independent Western military experts. According to them, the city of Izmail was attacked by 3 latest Russian 5th-generation Su-57M fighter jets, equipped with the new generation AL-51F1 aircraft engines. It is reported that these Russian fighter jets were armed with the latest stealth Kh-69 cruise missiles. Now it became clear why the Ukrainian air defense did not work and the sounds of flying Russian missiles were not heard. Commenting on the missile attack on the city of Izmail, the coordinator of the Russian underground in Ukraine, Sergei Lebedev, said that Russian Su-57M fighters attacked the port part of the city from the Black Sea. According to him, Russian Kh-69 cruise missiles hit and destroyed 3 warehouses, where about 20 units of German Gepard anti-aircraft guns were stored. In addition, Sergei Lebedev also confirmed the deaths of 12 Romanian and British soldiers. According to him, 20 more soldiers were seriously injured and were sent to hospitals in Romania. Thus, this is the second time in the last 30 days that the Russian armed forces have used the latest 5th-generation Su-57M fighter jets to destroy military targets on the territory of Ukraine. Let me remind you that at the beginning of September this year, representatives of the Turkish intelligence community, independent Western military experts, and Russian telegram channels reported that it was the Su-57 that shot down the American F-16 fighter jet, which was piloted by Ukrainian pilot Alexei Mess. By the way, the Ukrainian General Staff and NATO still refuse to release the data of the flight recorders of this fighter jet. Apparently, they don't want the whole world to know that this F-16 was destroyed by an enemy fighter jet.